You're watching Story Scroll. Real stories, raw emotions, and endings you'll never forget. Let's scroll into today's tale.
Hey Reddit, throwaway account because my wife knows my main. I honestly don't know where to start. I, 32M, have been with my wife, Emma, 30F, for about 3 years, married for 1. Until recently, I thought our marriage was solid. She's always been ambitious, driven, the kind of woman who climbs every corporate ladder she touches. I've always admired that about her. A few months ago, Emma got promoted to a senior role at her marketing firm. It was a big deal. New responsibilities, higher pay, and a lot more networking. She mentioned she'd be working closely with her new boss, Jason, late 30s, married, 2 kids. She described him as charismatic and a great mentor. At first, I was genuinely happy for her. She deserved it. But over time, things started to feel off. Emma began coming home later and later. Work dinners, client drinks, strategy meetings, you name it. She started dressing up more than usual for these dinners. Perfume, makeup, heels, not exactly office casual. When I offered to drop her off once, she waved it off quickly, saying, "No, it's fine. It's just work. Don't make it weird." That line stuck with me. Don't make it weird. I brushed it off at first. I didn't want to be the jealous husband who polices his wife's career. I trusted her, but I couldn't ignore the changes. The emotional distance, shorter replies, fewer hugs, less laughter. It felt like I was living with a roommate, not my wife. A few friends who'd been to her office parties mentioned Jason seemed a little too friendly with her. One even joked that he couldn't take his eyes off Emma. I laughed it off, but deep down, something twisted in my gut. Then one night, she left her phone on the couch while she went to shower. I didn't mean to snoop, but when the screen lit up, I saw Jason pop up in her recent messages. I didn't open the chat. I just stared at that heart emoji, feeling my stomach drop. My first instinct was to confront her, but I didn't. I told myself I trusted her, that I was overreacting. I wish I hadn't. Last Friday was the breaking point. She told me she had another work dinner. I remember her tone. Casual, practiced, like she'd said it 100 times before. I asked who was going, and she said, "Just me, Jason, and a few clients." I nodded, pretending to believe it. Around 8 p.m., I texted her, "How's dinner going?" No reply. 9 p.m., still nothing. 10 p.m., she posted an Instagram story. It was a boomerang of 2 glasses clinking, captioned, "Work vibes." But the restaurant tag caught my eye. It was a rooftop lounge downtown, one known for candlelit dinners and anniversary dates, not business meetings. I tried to tell myself there was an innocent explanation, but my chest was tight all night. I couldn't focus on anything. Around 10:30, I got a message request on Instagram from a woman named Lauren. Her first line, "Hi, I know this is weird. Update 1. Hey everyone, I didn't expect my last post to blow up the way it did. I read through every single comment. Some made me cry. Others made me laugh for the first time in days. The support, advice, and even the tough love. It meant a lot, so thank you." It's been a week since I caught my wife Emma lying about that work dinner. I wish I could say things have gotten easier, but it's been a blur of anger, disbelief, and exhaustion. The night after my post, I slept on the couch. I barely closed my eyes. Around 4 a.m., Emma came out, red-eyed and sniffling. She sat on the floor beside the couch, clutching my hand, begging me to talk. I didn't. I just stared at the ceiling. When the sun came up, she started apologizing, saying she didn't mean for things to go that far. She insisted it wasn't physical, that it was just emotional, and that Jason made her feel understood. I asked her one question. If it was just emotional, why lie about it? She couldn't answer. She just cried harder. By that evening, I told her to pack a few things and leave. She broke down, saying, "Please don't throw away our marriage over a mistake." But to me, it wasn't a mistake. It was a choice she made over and over. At one point, she said Jason told her he was unhappy in his marriage and that they had a real connection. I laughed. A bitter, hollow laugh I didn't even recognize coming from myself. If that's true, I said quietly, then you two deserve each other. She froze. I think that's when she realized I was done. She left that night to stay with a friend. The silence in the house after she walked out was deafening. It was like the walls themselves were exhaling in relief. The next day, I reached out to Lauren, Jason's wife, the one who had sent me the photo. I thanked her again for being honest with me and asked if she'd want to talk in person. She agreed. We met at a small coffee shop downtown. I didn't know what to expect, maybe awkward silence or mutual resentment. Instead, it was strangely comforting. Talking to someone who understood exactly what I was feeling was grounding. She showed me her phone, screenshots, texts, call logs. I did the same. When we laid everything out, the timeline was painfully clear. It had been going on for months. Late night messages, business trips, client dinners, all neatly woven lies. Lauren told me Jason denied everything until she showed him that same picture she sent me. Then he tried to spin it, saying it was innocent, that people read too much into things. Sound familiar? That's when she said something that stuck with me. They both lied to protect each other's version of the truth. Maybe it's time someone told the real one. We talked for hours. By the end of that meeting, the sadness had shifted into something sharper, clarity. We didn't want revenge for the sake of destruction. We wanted accountability. Lauren mentioned that Jason had used the company card for several of those work dinners. Emma's name was often listed on the expense reports. That gave us an idea. Over the next few days, we gathered everything: screenshots of flirty texts, timestamps, and a few questions. Final update. Hey Reddit, it's been about 6 months since my last update, and a lot has changed, mostly for the better. I promised I'd come back once the dust settled, and now that it finally has, I think I'm ready to close this chapter. The divorce is finalized. It became official last month. Signing those papers felt strange. Not painful, just final. Like the end of a book you already knew the last page of. I moved into a small one-bedroom apartment not too far from my old place. It's quiet, cozy, and best of all, mine. The first few weeks after she left were the hardest. The silence was deafening, and I caught myself expecting to hear her keys at the door or her laugh from the kitchen. But over time, that silence started to sound less like loneliness and more like peace. I started therapy, something I never thought I'd do. My therapist helped me unpack the guilt and anger I'd been carrying, not just from the betrayal, but from blaming myself for it. I learned that sometimes people choose to betray you not because of what you lack, but because of what they lack within themselves. I also reconnected with some old friends I drifted away from during the marriage. We started doing weekend hikes, barbecues, small things that reminded me how good it feels to just exist without walking on emotional eggshells. I joined a gym too, mostly to tire myself out at first, but now I actually look forward to it. It's weird. When you start rebuilding your life, you realize how much of it you'd stopped living. And yes, Lauren and I have stayed in touch. We grab coffee every couple of weeks, sometimes dinner. It's not romantic, not yet at least, but there's something comforting about her presence. We don't need to explain our silences to each other. She understands the kind of quiet that comes after a storm. Sometimes pain forges unexpected connections. A few weeks ago, a mutual friend from Emma's office reached out. I wasn't expecting to hear anything, but curiosity got the better of me. He told me that both Emma and Jason had been officially terminated after HR completed their internal review. Turns out, the investigation went deeper than either of them expected. HR discovered expense reports and client billing inconsistencies, dinners and trips they'd both claimed as work-related, but were clearly personal. It wasn't just about the affair anymore. It was about integrity, or rather, the lack of it. Jason's reputation tanked overnight. Word spread fast in their professional circle, and in that world, your name is your currency. Last I heard, he's struggling to find work in the same industry. His wife, Lauren, finalized the divorce a month before mine. She got the house, primary custody of the kids, and full spousal support. Jason fought it, but the evidence spoke for itself. As for Emma, I learned she tried applying to a few firms in the city, but no one wanted to touch a scandal that public. Apparently, one company rescinded her offer after HR caught wind of the reason she was available. When my friend told me all this, I didn't feel.
Thanks for watching Story Scroll. Hit that bell and stay tuned for the next story that will move your heart.